Don't let your age be a factor in anything, I hear people say, oh, I'm too old for that, or, I couldn't do that at my age, or whatever. Age has no limits. It's really what you do with your life.
Hey, Mighty Family. Welcome to another episode of Homebody. I'm here with Susan Kanoff, and she is the founder of the Midlife Fashionista, Kicking Cancer in Heels, and uncommonthreads.org. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So happy to have you here too. I'm so excited to talk to you today because I know that you are the Midlife Fashionista on Instagram, and you run an organization called Uncommon Threads, a nonprofit, I believe, and then a community called Kicking Cancer in the Heels.
You got it.
I know. I've been a little sleuth, aren't I? But I'd love to just hear about you, where you're from. Tell me about yourself.
Sure. So I'm from Massachusetts, from the greater Boston area. I've lived here all my life. And I have two grown kids. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter who's the love of my life. I'm very invested in my community, and I love this area. I love New England. I mean, the U.S. is gorgeous. I'm just partial to New England because I've lived here forever. But I love being near the mountains and the beach, close to Boston, which I really love, close to good medical care, which is really important to me.
Gosh, grown kids and a grandchild. I have aspirations for that one day. Hopefully not too far in the distance, but tell me about career-wise. How did your career path, go where it did?
So yeah, it's a crazy story, a good one, but a crazy story. I was a social worker for over 25 years. I ran a federal program that moved low-income folks out of poverty. So I worked with a lot of single moms, a lot of women. And during that time, I started a business as a wardrobe stylist. I just needed something fun and creative. And so it catapulted. I ended up doing work for television. I was a style editor of a local magazine, did a lot of work with private clients. And everyone wanted to know, where could they donate their clothes directly to women in need? So they started donating to me. I started, working with them, hauling clothes off, bringing them to my social work office, and dispersing them to women who really needed them.
Right.
So, so that Uncommon Threads, that's where it was born, right out of my office. But also during that time, my private clients wanted to know. They wanted just really visual ideas of what they could wear. So I would dress them, but they wanted like a lookbook. So I started blogging and, going on Instagram and Facebook and just showing off daily looks. And that, kind of took on a life of its own in itself. So, all these different pieces. And then most recently, I started Kicking Cancer in Heels with Michelle Nadine Baker, who's a very, very well-known patient advocate. And, we're just basically helping women impacted by cancer with hope and inspiration and resources. So
wow, I
don't sleep at night. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you probably do sleep well after your full day, I would say. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's an amazing journey, and your story of how it just all grew so organically is so inspiring. And just doing what you love and what becomes of it is an amazing path, I think. And as a woman, to have a family and a career and do both well and love what you do on both in your family life, your work life, and to be able to kind of meld it and have it grow organically like that is fantastic. And the way you style clothes on the Midlife Fashionista, I really enjoying. I'm right there with you. Love fashion, but not always, I worked in retail and fashion, but don't always know exactly how to style things, and you just pull it off so well. So what triggered that evolution, that change from the self-esteem to really like empowering yourself?
It's a great question. Well, I think part of it was getting out of a bad marriage, and just not getting what I needed out of it, and learning that I can break free. I could break free and do things on my own, raise kids on my own, and I think the more we kind of move through fears and our own anxieties, the stronger we become. And then meeting Richard, my husband of 18 years, and he's just so supportive of every single thing I do. And he's been such a catalyst for starting Uncommon Threads, for pushing me to leave a job of 25 years with, I took an early retirement and kind of jumping off a cliff.
Your comfort zone.
It was. I stayed stuck. I loved the job, but I kind of stayed stuck in it for a long time. And so, I think he helped me a lot. And the more I did and the more I accomplished, the more I wanted to do. And the more challenges I wanted to take on, and the stronger I became. I think if we stay too comfortable sometimes, it's not always a good thing for really learning more and doing more.
Yeah, that so resonates with me, and I think with many women at our point in life, or mature stage, our midlife, right? Gosh, and then I know kind of the Uncommon Threads and the Midlife Fashionista that has catapulted to the kicking cancer in the heels, and I'm just curious about how you touched on how that came about, but how that journey's been.
Sure, of course, yeah. I'm very, very open with my cancer journey. So I was diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia 4 years ago, which is called CLL. Unfortunately, there's no cure. It's chronic, and I hate when people say, "Oh, it's a good cancer," because it's not a good cancer. No cancer is a good cancer.
I don't know if there's such thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really has its challenges. I got diagnosed before the pandemic. I felt really good, did really well, and then the pandemic hit, and I was really isolated. I'm immunocompromised severely, and so I couldn't go into work. I had to start working remotely. I couldn't get together with friends, some of my family, and it was really isolating. So I started to search online, for support groups, and I found some, and I ended up meeting, I think it was via LinkedIn, Michelle Nadine Baker, who lives in Boston, and she's a really well-known patient advocate who also has CLL. So we started a support group, a national support group called CLL Women Strong. And then we took it to another level, and we said, you know what? Women impacted by cancer need hope. They need inspiration. They need to know what to wear, fashion, beauty, They need to hear from doctors, and it kind of needs to be this holistic approach to feeling good and feeling strong, whether you've gone through cancer, someone impacted by cancer, or you yourself. It also, provides connection, which I think we all need. And, sometimes you feel alone in your journey, and you feel like, are these feelings, is it just me? Or, why can't I get it together? Or why am I having so many bad days? Or, whatever, why am I worrying so much? And I think just by normalizing some of that and making women feel connected and empowered, I think that's another piece of kicking cancer in heels.
I know also you've been a little bit involved with Mighty Health and have written about Mighty Health in your blog. Can you share about your experience with that?
Sure. I mean, what a great app. I'm really, I'm really impressed with it, as you could tell. I think, again, it provides connection, which I really love, with the forums where you can talk to people. I thought having a health coach one-on-one is just brilliant. Brilliant. And the resources, I feel like I could dig in and spend a month on the website and the app, just digging into all these great articles and classes and, cooking classes, and it's got just about everything on there. It's amazing, amazing.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. We do need a fashion consultant, though, so we'll just send them your way, because you look want to look good doing it all, and as you're on, I'm sure you're on a healthy lifestyle journey.
I've let a lot slip. When I first got diagnosed, I delved into a different diet. It's so hard to know what diet is right for cancer, right? Because blood cancer is very different than solid tumors. So, I worked with all different holistic and nutritionists and everything. And then, the pandemic hit, and I'm home all the time. And exercising became more challenging because we live in a condo development, and I can't go to the gym here. I can't be with other people. So if there's one thing that cancer taught me, it's take control of your health. It is so, so, so important. I used to live on sugar. I mean, it would be Twizzlers for breakfast. I would grab whatever, spoon in the ice cream. And we had a joke in my office that when I was a social worker, that my office was on the second floor, that I could hear the M&Ms being poured into the glass jar, the glass dish, and I run downstairs, and I like serious sugar addiction. And, I don't think I realized the impact that has on health. So I've really tried to eat a much healthier diet. I try to walk 3 miles every day if I can.
That's great.
I love Mighty Health because there are some really great easy exercises that I can do right from home. And I think the biggest shift for me has really been taking control of stress and anxiety.
Sounds like maybe through meditation. How have you found ways to, or how did you start to find ways to alleviate that?
I think self-talk for me is really what pivots, changes my thinking sometimes. Like when I'm really going down that road of, oh my God, what if I have to go to the doctor's tomorrow? What if they find my blood work tanked? What if, then I need to really just step back and say, okay, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I can't worry about this now. Take it, throw that negative thought out the window. I kind of visualize taking it and dumping it, and kind of reshifting my thinking. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I think sometimes the things that we worry about are not the things that either happen or are that bad. We can visualize in our minds how bad something's going to be, but sometimes it's not that bad.
That's a great insight about how to kind of take charge of maybe emotions and all that build up and that stress and anxiety that get in the way. And I think your daily routine of going for a walk, that gave a lot. Just getting out and moving, I know, makes me feel so much better. And
so much better.
You can again get into this cycle where you're ruminating, I'm not ready, it's cold outside, and which I can hardly see out here compared to where you are, but
you have no right to complain.
I know.
It's cold.
Okay, 42 degrees this morning. 42. That's pretty cold, right?
This was like 25, so I don't feel sorry for you. I'm sorry.
What is your favorite part about the communities that you've created?
That's an easy one. So really about connection, about the connections that I have made with women from all over the country, all over the world. When I can travel again, I'm not saying if, I'm changing that message, right? When I can travel again, I will be able to go to every single state and have friends in every state across the US. And I've made amazing friends, and, just the commonalities that we all have. And I think as we get older, those commonalities become even stronger, and the connections become even stronger. And so, that goes for everything. That goes for Uncommon Threads, the connections to volunteers and clients. These are women who really don't have a lot of money. I mean, they're all very low income. They're all struggling. They come to us for our services. And I can't tell you how many times when I first got diagnosed with cancer, it's going to make me cry, but I'd come into work and there'd be flowers from a client. This is someone who didn't even have money for milk that week. And she'd go out and buy a little bouquet of flowers or bake a cake or write me a note or, give me a hug. And so women supporting women is so powerful.
If people watching this might want to get involved in any of the organizations that you do, where would they go?
So you can go right to the website, so uncommonthreads with an s.org, and I have some news that is really exciting. It looks like we're going to have our first affiliate chapter launching in your state, in California. Very, very exciting. My vision when I started Uncommon Threads was to see the program all over the United States in every state. So that's starting to happen. At midlifefashionista.com. You can find me all over social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, at the Midlife Fashionista.
Yes, and use the article when you search for that.
Or you will get somebody.
Little tip from me.
Yes,
You're
it
going to
happens
find
all the time.
a little
People
less
are like,
fashionable.
doesn't look like you, doesn't seem like you. So make sure you put just like you have to put the S on threads.
Yeah.
Then kickingcancerinheels.com. And you can find us at Kicking Cancer in Heels on Instagram and on Facebook. So those are the ways that you can find me. You can always email me. I love to hear from people. So my email's all over on all of these platforms.
I have a little rapid fire questions for you.
I did write some things down, full disclosure, because when it pops into your head in the moment, you're like, I don't want to forget that.
Okay. Let's see. Let's start with your health journey. Could you define your health journey in 3 words?
Yeah. Stressful, eye-opening, and empowering. All 3.
How about 3 things you just can't live without?
My friends, my family, and peppermint stick ice cream.
You didn't cut out all the sugar.
Cut all the sugar out. No.
That's okay. How about the best advice you've received?
Yeah. I wish I could remember the exact quote, but it was something like this. The past is gone. The future is unknown and intangible. And all we have is right this second. So we better make the most of right this second, because we can't do anything about the past and we can't do anything about the future. So we might as well enjoy what we have right now. So I had a hard time with that. So I've really been working on it. It's really powerful.
It's easy to get away from that, but if you can really stay in that moment, it makes it's great advice. What are you most looking forward to in this stage of your life?
Spending more time with my granddaughter, for sure.
3 years old.
Yeah, it's the best. I wish I could spend more time with her. Unfortunately, she started preschool, and so she's been sick like every single week. I know. And I can't get sick right now, so I have to be really careful.
Yeah.
But masks work. I will say that. We wear masks and they really work. And of course the 3 platforms that we talked about, seeing where everything goes, especially on Common Threads with, the replication and Kicking Cancer where it's new, and then joining forces with even more wonderful organizations and brands through the Midlife Fashionista, and blogging more. I need to do more blogging. I love to write.
Would you do that in your spare time, please? Because you really are slacking there, Susan. I mean, it's just so wonderful to, what a full life of positivity you've created, despite trials and tribulations. And gosh, I just wish you the very best all your endeavors. And
I do want to
Grandbaby.
say one thing too is don't
Oh,
let
please.
yes, don't let your age be a factor in anything, you know. It's so important. I hear people say, you know, oh, I'm too old for that, or, you know, I couldn't do that at my age or whatever. You know, I mean, most of these things that I talked about starting, actually all of the things, Uncommon Threads, the Midlife Fashionista, and Kicking Cancer in Heels, were all in my 50s and 60s. So,
Wow.
you know,
Like Julia Childs
yes, like
started in
just
her 40s, but
just-
now
erase
right?
the messages, erase, you know, age has no limits. It's really what you do with your life.
that's so true. It's so true. That might be the best advice I've ever gotten.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
important.